Well, it was an action-packed day for the Prime Minister in Paris yesterday, with PM Modi participating in a number of crucial engagements there. The Prime Minister co-chaired the AI Action Summit with French President, and also called for investment in skilling and reskilling people for an AI-driven future in the country. PM Modi also sought to address concerns of many who feel that AI will lead to job cuts. He said that history has shown that technology never takes away jobs but changes its nature. He also stressed upon the need for collective global effort to establish governance and standards for AI to uphold shared value and address the risk as well.
We must develop open source systems that enhance trust and transparency. We must build quality data sets free from biases. We must democratize technology and create people-centric applications. We must address concerns related to cybersecurity, disinformation, and deepfakes. Friend, loss of jobs is AI's most feared disruption. But history has shown that work does not disappear due to technology. Its nature changes and new types of jobs are created. We need to invest in skilling and reskilling our people for an AI-driven future.
Well, the Prime Minister also made a strong pitch for businesses to come to India, saying that this was the right time to invest in the country. Have a look.
Reform, परफॉर्म, ट्रांसफॉर्म के पथ पर चलते हुए आज भारत विश्व की 5वीं सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी है। विश्व की सबसे तेजी से ग्रो करने वाली मेजर इकोनॉमी है। जल्द ही दुनिया की तीसरी बड़ी इकोनॉमी बनने जा रहे हैं। आज भारत तेजी से पसंदीदा ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टमेंट डेस्टिनेशन बनता जा रहा है। मैं आप सबको कहता हूं कि भारत में आने का यही समय है, सही समय है।
Well, we have breaking news coming in. On the sidelines of AI Action Summit, PM Modi also met with Google CEO Sundar Pichai there. They, in fact, discussed the potential of AI in the country, is what we are learning. So here is the tweet by Sundar Pichai after that crucial meeting with the Prime Minister. He went on to say that delighted to meet the Prime Minister today while in Paris for the AI Action Summit. We discussed the incredible opportunities AI will bring to India and ways we can work closely together on India's digital transformation. So very important meeting here. You can see in the visuals. Sundar Pichai, Apple CEO, along with the Prime Minister here in the visuals. This crucial meeting took place in Paris when the Prime Minister is there to co-chair the AI Action Summit. In fact, let me again read out this tweet. We discussed the incredible opportunities AI will bring to the country and ways we can work closely together on India's digital transformation. So this was discussed during the meeting with the Prime Minister. As far as Sundar Pichai is in fact concerned, the potential of AI in the country. Now, even United States Vice President couldn't stop praising the Prime Minister for the reassurance to those fearing that AI will disrupt the jobs. Once, in fact, said that he appreciates the Prime Minister's point that AI will facilitate and make people more productive and will not replace human beings. Listen to what he said.
I appreciate Prime Minister Modi's point. AI, I really believe, will facilitate and make people more productive. It is not going to replace human beings. It will never replace human beings. And I think too many of the leaders in the AI industry, when they talk about this fear of replacing workers, I think they really miss the point. AI, we believe, is going to make us more productive, more prosperous, and more free.
Well, the Prime Minister has few more programs in France today before he departs for the United States later in the day. He will visit the memorial in France, Marseille, and what we are learning that this memorial honors the memory of Indian soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice while defending foreign lands during the world wars. Over 1,000 Indian soldiers who took part in First World War were cremated at this very memorial that has now been made. From Australia to France to Singapore, during all the overseas visits, Prime Minister has been at the forefront of giving tribute to the Indian soldiers who laid down their lives far away from the motherland. Now in Marseille is what we are learning. Prime Minister will also jointly inaugurate an Indian consulate there as well. Well, the Prime Minister is in France today, and what we are learning is that today he will be visiting this memorial as far as this is concerned. So this is going to be an action-packed day for the Prime Minister. As I also mentioned, from Australia to France and also Singapore, whenever the Prime Minister goes to abroad, he always has been at the forefront of giving tribute to the Indian soldiers there. Let me read out this, in fact, the post by the Prime Minister. He mentioned that landed in Marseille in India's quest for freedom. This city holds special significance. It is here that the great Veer Savarkar attempted a courageous escape. I also want to thank the people of Marseille and also the French activists of that time who demanded that he not be handed over to the British custody. The bravery of Veer Savarkar continues to inspire the generation. So as the Prime Minister is in Marseille today, in fact, he has said and he has lauded the bravery of Veer Savarkar. Have a look at what is being said.
On behalf of the Indian community, we are extremely happy to have the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji here in Marseille. I think that would be the first time he'll be here with us. And on behalf of all the Indian community, I wish to say that we are extremely happy that there's a consulate that is going to open. I think that India and France has shared a lot in the past. To make it short, we have Indian soldiers who came here to fight for the Second World War. We have also had an important commerce of Indian cloth, so called the tissu indien, and I think in future we have also a bright future to share with France and India.
मैं पिछली 25 साल यहाँ पे रहता हूँ और मैं नवांकुर भट्टाचार्य, मैं यहाँ पे म्यूज़िक के बारे में है, मेरा सब बहुत सारी शागिर्द है। मैं इतना खुशी हूँ कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी वो आ रहे हैं, उन्हें यहाँ पे उनके लिए हम लोग पूरा इंडियन कम्युनिटी बहुत खुशी का बात है ये।
Let me go across to my colleague Rishabh, who joins us live on the broadcast with more details. Rishabh, Prime Minister is in France today. In fact, yesterday he touched upon the issue of job loss, AI-driven future. What is expected in France today?
Well, Akansha, good morning. Yes, Prime Minister is in France, and this is the second day of Prime Minister in France. Yesterday, he was in Paris. He was co-chairing the AI summit, where he spoke about how AI could be a challenge, but also AI could be, if used well, could be a sustainable and inclusive tool for a better humanity. What we are also given to understand that Prime Minister has also bid that India might host the next AI summit next year itself. Remember, this is the third AI summit that happened in Paris, which was the Action Summit. We might have AI summit next year in India as well, if going by what Prime Minister said at the AI summit. Having said that, Prime Minister met various CEOs, including the Google CEO, Sundar Pichai, and India First in Western India was the push that Prime Minister gave at the AI summit. Today, if we are talking, Prime Minister would be moving to Marseille. Marseille, remember, is a place where Indian soldiers have fought during the First World War and the Second World War as well. And there is a war cemetery where the Prime Minister would go pay tribute to the Indian soldiers who laid their life in France. apart from that, there will be an inauguration of Indian Consulate. Marseille is an important place, Akansha, if we talk about why. The world has heard a lot about IMEC, India, Middle East, Europe corridor. When the one point of it is Mumbai here in Maharashtra, the end point of IMEC is Marseille. And that's the reason that this consulate in Marseille becomes very, very important. It's not just a consulate, but it will become India's trade embassy in Marseille to oversee the whole IMEC route. And that is the reason that this consulate is very, very important. Both Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron will be inaugurating this consulate. So that is there. Then we'll have a bilateral meeting between the two leaders as well before he leaves for all-important United States visit.
Well, absolutely, Rishabh. And the most important takeaway is that India will also likely hold the AI Action Summit next. Could you give us more details on that?
Well, see, this is the third action summit, third AI summit that French government called Action Summit in Paris, which India co-chaired. How did this happen? India and France have culminated a new tradition of a bilateral meeting every year. 2023, Indian Prime Minister was in Paris for the Bastille Day. 2024, the French President was here in New Delhi for the Republic Day. None of us have forgotten the great road show that we saw in Jaipur.
So the Prime Minister is in France today, and after this he will be heading towards the United States. Now, after wrapping up his France visit later today, Prime Minister will be headed to the United States. His first visit to US under Donald Trump 2.0 administration. Now, this will be an official working visit of the Prime Minister to United States at the invitation of President Donald Trump. Now, during the two-day visit, focus will be on bolstering the tie and unlocking new avenues of cooperation. Prime Minister will hold bilateral meeting with the President of United States, Donald Trump, in both restricted and delegation level formats. He will also interact with businesses there and members of the Indian community as well. Now, Prime Minister Modi and President Donald Trump share a very good relationship, as we have witnessed in the past as well. Remember, as far as his first term is concerned, Prime Minister was also visited United States during Trump's first term. A meeting between the two leaders will be an opportunity to further strengthen the ties between the two nations, with focus expected on trade, investment, technology, defense, energy cooperation, and other areas as well. So here, look at, in fact, the tweet that has been made by GD Vance. He's the Vice President of United States. He has said the Prime Minister was gracious and kind, and our kids really enjoyed the gifts. I'm grateful to him for wonderful conversation. He has replied to this, in fact, post that has been made by the Prime Minister, in which he has mentioned, had a wonderful meeting with US Vice President GD Vance and his family. We had a great conversation on various subjects. Delighted to join them in celebrating the joyous birthday of their son Vivek. So this is, in fact, the social media conversation between the Vice President and Prime Minister just ahead of the visit of Prime Minister to the United States.
I mean, this is a very significant meeting in the sense that Prime Minister Modi will be just the fourth world leader to meet President Trump. And we have seen world leaders jockeying for position to be able to engage with this new administration and the new president. And the fact that the Prime Minister was invited by the administration within the first few weeks of him being in power, I think that's pretty significant, and it speaks to the importance of the U.S.-India partnership. Now, it'll be a bit of an unusual meeting in the sense that these are early days for the administration. It hasn't really had an opportunity to focus on its approach to India. You also have a number of key posts within the administration focused on India that have not yet been filled. So I think that, given that this is coming early on in the administration, and given that this is a working visit, not a state visit, I don't think that we're going to see significant levels of substantive dialogue leading to major deals or anything like that. But it will be an important opportunity for these two leaders who know each other very well and like each other to reassert their friendship and to talk about priorities for the coming years.
Well, let me go across to Senior Executive Editor Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan for more on this. In fact, stage is all set for the meeting of Prime Minister with Donald Trump. I'll come again to Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan. But after France, the next stop for the Prime Minister is in fact, the United States. Now, let me go across to senior executive editor Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan, who's reporting live from United States. Stage is all set for this crucial meeting between the Prime Minister and Donald Trump. In fact, Prime Minister is one of the first few world leaders to meet Donald Trump after his victory. How significant will this visit be?
Well, very crucial visit, as you rightly put it. One of the first few world leaders, apart from Israel and Japan. India, of course, one of the first leaders to actually meet with President Trump right at the beginning of his second tenure as President of the United States. Going to show, of course, not just how close the two countries are, but the two leaders also are in terms of their own personal dynamic. And it's time to rebuild on that and revisit that particular aspect as well of the ties between India and the United States. Now, a lot of announcements that are expected in the area of defense procurement. Of course, there's already a strategic partnership in place. There are, of course, military agreements, the 3 agreements that were signed during the first tenure of President Trump. Building on that in terms of actual implementation on ground is also one of the areas that has been expressed as an area where more work needs to be done. But beyond that, of course, there are other tricky areas as well, such as tariff and immigration, where the role really of the two countries and where there would be some amount of give and take between the two countries needs to be seen. India has already accommodated some of the demands of the United States when it comes to issues pertaining to tariffs and US products. The US wants to see not just India buying more US products and reducing the tariff, but also more investment coming in from India into the United States. Donald Trump, of course, sees this as a two-way street and he wants that to be implemented. How far will that be possible remains to be seen, but at this point of time, those are the expectations, certainly. And what really will be the big ticket announcements in terms of military hardware and military procurement, that too remains to be seen. So all in all, a very significant visit is what we expect, but it will ultimately depend on what the outcomes and the takeaways from that very crucial bilateral meeting that is to take place in about 48 hours from now.
Well, absolutely appreciate you joining us. All eyes will be on this crucial meeting between the Prime Minister and Donald Trump, and we will keep you updated on that. With this, a short break.